Raids, baby! You know what I'm saying? Snap! Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, let me turn up the music a little bit. All right. Let's talk about some raids. I was extremely worried a couple days ago. All right. So yesterday, raids came back on. And if you don't know what's happening, basically raids were on for like about an hour or two. People were able to at least get through the 3 beginning bosses that were supposed to teach you the encounter. And then at the final boss, no one was able to beat it because they cut off the raid. Now, I was being a little cynical. I thought they just cut it off because, of course, the squad UI was messing up, but because people were complaining that it was too easy. And I was worried that they messed up somewhere, you know, that it was just too easy and this wasn't really the hardcore content that we were looking for. It was a little bit sad because, you know, I've been playing this game for so long and I've been hungering for that dungeon content for a very long time. We hadn't had a dungeon, or they haven't even touched original dungeons in a very long time. You know, we have fractals, but that's pretty much it. And frankly, it got a little old to me very quickly. But then Monday morning, I woke up to find the raids were open. I was excited. So I grabbed WP, me and him streamed for about 6 hours, got a couple people from his guild. We got some randoms from the stream. People were constantly leaving, but that was okay. But we eventually got a solid group and we kept going through it over and over and over again. And we learned the encounter, and we got as close as about, I got it, 15-20%. Ooh. And this is with just only 2 people communicating with each other and 8 other people just hearing the delay on the stream. We were all learning. We knew what the problem was. At least, you know, we said what the problem was. We realized some people weren't going towards the circles to make sure that we all don't wipe. Stuff like that was happening. You know, the regular stuff that in the beginning we couldn't really practice it as much as we wanted to because people were just not doing their jobs. And I guess that is the thing. And even WP, even on TeamSpeak, it was hard for him to do it because it's all about the players you're playing with. You're going to need a group that listens properly and they don't get offended when you tell them they're doing bad or anything like that. And of course, if you do it in the right way, if you know how to speak to someone and give them constructive criticism, it shouldn't come off in a bad way. But there's going to be a lot of that. The good groups that know what they're doing, they understand their job, they don't mess up, they're paying attention to what they're doing. Those groups are going to do this easily. I'm going to say easily. If you have the damage, which I'm going to talk about in a bit, and you know how to go inside the circles, which I guess for people who don't really understand what's going on with the raids, let me just explain. The first 3 bosses are teaching you the mechanics, okay? You got the Green Ranger, which is everyone's favorite. Who doesn't like Tommy, all right? You got the Red Ranger, and then you got the Blue Ranger. They're called Guardians. I'm messing around here. The Green Ranger, basically, he has little blue rocks, well, once you get to the final encounter, that teleport you away. So if you don't dodge out of them, if you don't just easily sidestep them, they will teleport you away. Now, it doesn't really matter in this encounter, you know, the easy trash mobs that are teaching you the mechanics. It doesn't matter here, but it really matters at the final boss. So that is the Green Ranger. If other than that, you can just burn him down easily. You know, if you get teleported away, then you lose damage because he's chasing after whoever gets teleported away. For the Blue Guardian, basically you have to strip a boon away from him. You can strip boons, you know, with a Necro Well or Mesmer, as we were using in the final encounter. You can do it like that, or if you don't have any on you, you can drag the boss into his little lightning balls. There's a lot of balls in this encounter, and if he's near the blast, his boon will be stripped, and then you can, you know, kill him. basically. They're all pretty tanky, so it's going to take a while. So it's better if you're just stripping boons constantly, keeping him in one spot, and stacking it up, right? Everyone likes that mechanic. Now for the red guardian, basically you damage him with only condition damage. All of these are pretty easy. You can even solo them if you want to. But now the final boss, it takes all these mechanics and puts them all in one encounter. And I'm surprised to say that there is a bit of tanking in here. Not your traditional, Holy Trinity tanking, but more, this guy always follows the guy with the highest toughness, which means you could kind of control the boss a lot easier, which helps with all the other mechanics connected to him, like the blue AoEs that go on the floor. If you stay on your slice of pie, as we called it on the stream, he will only summon this blue lightning ball, which 4 people have to stay in, or basically the party wipes. And then later on, you're going to have to move him around each slice of pie, which there are 3, because if you stay on the wrong one, you will get damaged. All right, so let me give you a quick run through. The first phase, he runs to the player with the highest toughness. Well, he will always do that. Then he will summon a blue lightning ball that 4 people have to be in, which I heard also ranger pets count as people as well, which is crazy. And I wish we knew it, because it probably would have helped us quite a bit. He summons teleport rocks on the floor, which you have to dodge or you get teleported away. As the tank or the guy who has the highest toughness, whatever you want to call it, he cannot get ported away often or any at all. Okay, that would be bad, because he moved, the boss will just chase after him. Sometimes you can keep the boss in place if other people are attacking him, but no, you can't do that. You have to be perfect almost. And then you have the red seeker balls. Now these you need to keep away from the boss, because he takes reduced damage if they're close, and your party takes damage because they just have some AoE. Now each phase gets harder, but what happens between each phase is that the guardian splits again into his 3 forms. So basically the final boss is the Megazord. Okay, now after he splits for the first phase, everyone splits off into their own slice of pie, because you get attuned for that slice. If you're not quick enough, you might get attuned for the wrong guardian. You want your condition damage dealers on the red guy, you want your boon strippers on the blue guy, and you want people who know how to dodge rocks on the green guy. After you burn them down, the boss will respawn, and make sure you bring CC, because you're gonna have to CC them in order to actually finish them off. And that's pretty much it. He starts to get harder and harder each phase, and there's 3 of them. What changes is basically he starts doing an AoE that you have to CC, and of course more slices of pie are taken up by that AoE. You have to stay off of them or you'll get damaged heavily. By the way, the AoE is whatever slice of pie is glowing. You don't want to be on those. So that's why the tank's job is to keep him on one slice of pie, so the blue orb will spawn on a place that the AoE is not on consistently. You have to time that well. It's very, very satisfying to actually get it done right. I was almost disappointed, but I'm glad to say that I actually enjoyed this raid. I enjoyed the 6 hours it took me just to get it to that nice 15%. But I think I'm glad I wasn't able to beat it with some random group, even though we played it for so long. Some of those guys were there for the whole 6 hours, man, learning the raids with us. That was just a good experience. And I think if they keep changing it up, then this might be the thing that I fall in love with. Sure, the rewards are great. Legendary armor, who doesn't want that? But it's all about how good it feels to defeat these bosses. You know, having a good team, that satisfaction of everything just working right because you've done it so many times, you've learned it by heart. If the encounters are fun, I do not mind doing these over and over again. Now, if it's not fun, then you know, then I'm probably not going to enjoy my time. I'm not. So I definitely want it to be like this, even though a small complaint would be the boss timer. Now, because of the boss timer, you have to use Zerker gear, okay? Obviously, if you're, you know, a conditioned guy, you're using Sinister, which we didn't have available in the beta, sadly. Hopefully, they'll have it in the next one, if they put out raids again. But most people were going a little bit glassy, or would I say mostly glassy. So they said they were removing the Zerker meta, but we had to kind of use Zerkers in order to defeat this encounter. Now, not everyone was, you know, running the optimal damage build. No. People were speccing a little bit differently. For instance, me, I was the guy. I was the tank. Every time we died, we went back and like, okay, what can we change differently? Even though Winning Potatoes, he just wanted to keep going over and over and over again, which I get it because we only had limited time. But I really enjoyed going back and seeing, okay, what can I do differently? And by the end, I was very satisfied with the build, at least with my playstyle anyway. I was using Knight's gear. I ended up going full supporty with Valor, Honor, and Virtues. Maybe a little overkill, but it worked for the situation that we're in. I was still doing a bit of damage while being able to support everyone with regen, protection, quickness, and then I have like things like the shield, which I didn't use before, but now that we played it so much, we kind of say, okay, we need something to push back the Seekers so the boss will take more damage. I got a shield that would push back Seekers, and we'll time all the CCs. That was the beauty of this encounter. Now, once you learn everything, you kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel, you know? It's just sad we didn't reach there. But that was just satisfying to learn the mechanics, and hopefully everyone speccing the right way. I'm pretty sure not everyone was running the best spec, or not everyone was the best players, and that's probably why we didn't win. It could have been that all of us weren't damaged, and maybe my Guardian build was like a bit overkill, and I should use something like, I don't know, Engie. And Engie would probably be able to put out way more pressure while still being tanky, which is kind of sad. Which I wonder if, you know, was there a place for me to give so much, you know, utility to my group? Was there a point? Should I just go straight up damage and being able to burn the boss a lot quicker, because the quicker you burn him down, the easier time you would have with the rage timer. So, you know, all those other sets of gear that don't really have that high damage output, or, you know, like for something like clerics to be used in this raid, you basically shouldn't, because you're basically cutting your damage a 1/10, and you don't want that. Now, this section of it just makes me feel a little bit sad, like something was missed here. But this is only the first encounter, so I can't really judge the whole raid on just one encounter. It's fine. It's totally fine for this boss to have this mechanic, you know, this rage mechanic. It's totally fine. If all of them have this type of formula where you have to use Zerker gear all the time, then I don't see why they were saying that they were going to destroy the Zerker meta when they're not destroying it. They're just, you know, putting it in the same place. Now, granted, not everyone was running the optimal, you know, damage build, but still, it's still Zerker gear. I am so happy that they didn't mess it up and it wasn't just some easy boss fight. I am so happy, at least for that. At least for that. It may not be perfect, but at least they didn't put it out. And it was just easy, just face roll easy with random people. I would have been so mad. Anyway, sorry, I messed up the chill vibe. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching. Super chill video, and I will see you tomorrow for another one.